Dear colleagues, we start. Welcome to our Innovative Universities Global Webinar. This is our series of meetings and interviews with higher education leaders around the world, with the leaders with imagination and ideas that could change not just one institution, but the whole landscape of higher education. And today, we have a pleasure to hear about another very unusual university. In fact, we traveled to Turkey for the first time. I hope we'll find more innovative universities in Turkey, but this time we turn our attention to very unusual university, unusual at least from the surface, specifically by its size. In fact, the very expression Giga University was coined in the conversation with our today's guest, because we know what are mega universities. Mega universities when you have more than 100,000 students. But what if you have more than 1 million students? We can call it Giga University. And today we discuss how what is the life at Giga University? How to become Giga University? Is it easy? And what lessons we can draw from this experience? Let me remind the flow of the webinar. We start, the webinar lasts for 60 minutes. We start from 15, 20, 25 minutes presentation, following by the discussion. The colleagues that participate in the webinar online can ask questions using Q&A button, and we will be available on YouTube. And Dara Melnik, co-host of the webinar and education consultant, and me, Isaac Frumin, also co-host of the webinar, will moderate the discussion. We are very grateful to our steering committee that recommends us these unusual university cases. And finally, to finish my introduction, I want to introduce our speaker for today. Dr. Professor Aras Bozkurt is really famous expert academic researcher in the area of distance education. I checked the ResearchGate, Aras, and it's quite impressive. You published already 10 ResearchGate indexed publications in 2024 about different aspects of distance education, online learning. I would strongly recommend his recent book, Transforming Higher Education with Generative AI, which was very interesting for me, how to become expert in prompt engineering. Aras is editor, chief editor and associate editor of quite a few journals. I would note that he is a chief editor of Asian Journal of Open Education, which is becoming more and more prestigious journal. But we invited Aras not just a scholar of distance education. He himself participated in this unprecedented scaling of distance education at Anadolu University. He was a deputy director of distance education department, and he was a director of Open Education Learning Technologies Research and Development Department that made possible this rapid development. So Aras, the floor is yours, and we can start the presentation.
Okay. By the way, it's great to be with you all, and I will try to make a short presentation about the case of Anadolu. My presentation is entitled Anadolu as a Giga Open University, Higher Education at a Large Scale, or really large scale. Let me briefly introduce myself. I am an Associate Professor of Distance Education at Anadolu University, Türkiye, and Editor-in-Chief in Open Praxis and Asian Journal of Distance Education. I am also associated with some other journals. Even though I have multiple roles, I define myself as a learner and most importantly, as a dreamer. I believe that being a learner and dreamer is more important than the other roles. Here at Anadolu University, inspired by Rumi's inclusive philosophy, come, wherever you are, we integrate open learning principles rooted in inclusiveness, flexibility, critical pedagogy, and social justice. Anadolu University, with its open education system, serves over 1 million students embodying these ideals and contributing significantly to educational democratization and equitable wealth distribution. Anadolu University, a public institution founded in 1958, it began offering open and distance learning in 1982 and transformed into a dual mode university. So we have on-campus students and off-campus students. This strategic shift allowed the university to cater to a diverse range of students, ensuring broad access to education. Currently, Anadolu University is the largest university by its student numbers in Türkiye and Europe, and it is the third largest university all around the world. There are some interesting figures here. Anadolu University's open education system has made remarkable strides in meeting Turkey's growing demand for higher education. Starting with around 30,000 students in 1982, the university reached a mega university status by 1985 with over 1,100 students. And in 2018, it became a Giga university surpassing 1 million students. The figure on the slide represents this impressive growth trajectory, highlighting Anadolu University's critical role in the Turkish higher education landscape. The impact of Anadolu University's open and distance learning system is really profound. In 1982, open education system accounted for just 13% of higher education demand in Turkey, but by 2023, this figure surged to around 40%, and Anadolu University now currently serving around 1.2 million students in Turkey. This growth highlights the effectiveness and scalability of Anadolu University's ODL programs and showcases its critical role in expanding access to higher education and catering a broad segment of population. The open education system of Anadolu University in Turkey has also played a critical role in reducing gender disparities in higher education. In 1982, female students made up just 20%, while male students at 8%. By 2024, female representation increased to 49%, with male students at around 51%. This trend not only reflects the effectiveness of open and distance learning in bridging gender gaps, but also demonstrates its contribution to normalizing gender distribution in academic settings across Türkiye. This is also an interesting slide. The age distribution of students at Anadolu University's open education system, analyzed at 10-year intervals, has shown fascinating trends over the past 40 years. As you can see on the screen, there has been a shift towards older age groups with more mature students enrolling in open education system programs. The 2022 data highlights the presence of students from every age group, including indicating that open education system attracts both traditional age students and older individuals alike. These figures also proves the broad and inclusive appeal of Anadolu University's open education system. Since the new millennium, enrollment trends at Anadolu University open education system has shown significant shifts. There has been notable increase in students with associate degrees enrolling in bachelor degrees through vertical transfer exam. Additionally, more individuals holding either an associate or bachelor's degree are seeking further education. Currently, and most interestingly, half of our student body already has a higher education degree. These trends highlight the growing interest in continuing education among already qualified individuals in Turkey. At Anadolu University, rector is appointed by the President of Turkish Republic based on the Council of Higher Education's recommendation for a 4-year term. As of 2024, Anadolu University has 12 faculties, 3 colleges, 3 vocational schools, 2 institutions, and 25 research centers. Of these, 3 faculties form the open education system, and it is represented by a vice rector who ensures coordination between the open education faculties and the rectorate to foster an integrated and efficient governance structure. At Anadolu University Open Education System, online technologies are crucial for creating a robust learning environment and preparing learning materials. These technologies support a dynamic and accessible educational experience, allowing the university to effectively deliver its curriculum to a diverse student body. The online infrastructure developed by Anadolu University to ensure that students have continuous access to educational resources, course content, and support services with quality assurance. Beyond curriculum, Anadolu University fosters student participation in learning communities focused on various interests like books, cinema, and music. And in each community, there are 50K, 80K students, and they are actively engaging with their peers beyond the structured curriculum. These communities offer social communication and interaction with monthly expert sessions for active engagement. The digital course platform provides over 1,000 courses and nearly 30K learning materials as open educational resources. Additionally, through the Academa, the Anadolu University's MOOC platform, students can enroll in various courses and earn certificates and upskill their academic skills. Anadolu University offers a comprehensive array of both online and offline learning materials to ensure students have access to diverse educational resources. I just want to highlight that though most of our materials are online, we also provide offline learning materials if our learners demand that. The Anadolu University e-campus, the university's learning management system, organizes access to course books and supplementary materials, including e-books, interactive e-books, audiobooks, multimedia enriched learning content. These resources are designed to align with core textbooks that allows students engage in web-based courses either synchronously or asynchronously to provide flexibility in their learning experience. This is an interesting part. As a public institution, Anadolu University follows financial guidelines set by the Council of Higher Education in Türkiye. While education and training processes are offered free of charge in all state universities in Türkiye, students are required to pay a registration fee for student fairs and examination costs at Anadolu University. This fee is adjusted annually in relation to minimum wage, and despite being nominal, the large enrollment numbers make this fee a significant contributor to the university's finances. The enrollment fee is approximately 45 euros per semester, but if you multiply this amount by over 1 million students, you have an incredible budget. The registration fee collected from a vast number of students supports not only the operational needs of open education system at Anadolu University, but also benefits other faculties within Anadolu University and also some other projects in Turkish higher education system. So you can imagine the size of the financial income. Anadolu University operates as a dual mode institution, offering both face-to-face and distance education. Within an open education system, education is delivered through self-paced learning to promote flexibility, learner autonomy, and student-centered approach. However, students must attend proctored face-to-face exams to receive their grades and then graduate. The open education system administers proctored exams at designated centers and primarily uses multiple choice questions for summative assessment. Applied programs include internship for diverse evaluation, and grading follows bell curve statistics to ensure a standardized academic achievement. Anadolu University Open Education System offers over 60 associate and bachelor degree programs across 3 faculties. However, due to legal constraints, postgraduate programs are not offered through the open and distance education, not only at Anadolu University, but all around Türkiye. Anadolu University Open Education System has significantly enhanced its learner support systems in response to globalization, technological advancements, and evolving needs of 21st century learners. Digital transformation plays a critical role to offer comprehensive support through both synchronous and asynchronous communication strategies. To stay connected, this is one of our main strategy. The open education system employs a wide range of technologies from traditional SMS to mobile app push notifications and social media platforms. Students can benefit from frequently asked question sections, live chat systems, call centers, and more recently, AI-supported chatbots for real-time assistance. These channels ensure the students receive timely and effective support, and it's really important to keep them engaged and stay connected. Additionally, Anadolu University open education system provides diverse support services, including many pedagogical, social, technical, and vocational support. Quality assurance is important in every higher education institution, also at Anadolu University. We have a quality commission that coordinates our processes, but my favorite quality assurance mechanism is the thing what we do in our learning management system. In the open education system, a critical quality assurance mechanism is the continuous improvement of the online courses through student feedback. Course content is regularly rated by students, and satisfaction surveys are conducted every semester. Based on this feedback, we remove some of the learning content. Sometimes we update them, or in many cases, we offer completely new learning content.
May I just interrupt you for a second to clarify?
Yeah.
So this is what is this feedback? This is learning analytics, or it's a real feedback? You ask students to rate course, and if yes, what is the proportion of students who participate in that? Because many universities try to do that, but students they just do not participate in this feedback mechanism.
Okay, consider that you are a student and there is a course video. At the bottom line, there are 5 stars, so you can rate the content. Additionally, you can send comment. You can say that I didn't like the speaker, or I didn't like the visuals in the video or background. I mean, you can share your comments. And also, we share satisfaction surveys at the end of each semester, and we try to understand their satisfaction levels in a general level. Based on these 3 data, we decide to use the learning content or not. And in many cases, we update around 10% of our learning content each year. And considering the number of the courses, it's a huge operation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But could again, speaking about
please.
quality, because this is the most critical issue for large scale. What about this quality mechanism that you described? They do not include exams. You mentioned that exams are proctored, right?
Yeah.
But are they independent? I mean, do you have independent measure of the quality of the results?
Indeed, in the following slides, I will talk about our exams, and it is one of our weakest points. Okay, good. When it comes to extension activities and international reach, as of 2024, Anadolu University operates globally, providing educational services in 39 countries through 56 registration and examination centers, as shown in the screen. I mean, when we conduct an exam, indeed, we don't conduct that exam not only in Turkey, but all around the world. This global network primarily benefits Turkish citizens residing abroad, ensuring they receive consistent academic support and services regardless of their location. And we have a quite large student population in Germany. Anadolu University's expansive presence enhances educational opportunities for the diaspora and strengthens the university's international standing. Besides, Anadolu University actively engages in various international associations as a part of its strategy to enhance international outreach, and this can be, I can say, European University Association, International Council for Distance Education, European Distance and E-Learning Network, European Association for Distance Teaching Universities, and the Asian Association for Open Universities. And we actively take part in these associations. This is an interesting analysis. According to Mishra's openness framework, Anadolu University Open Education System scored 79 points, placing it in the very good openness category, close to high openness. This assessment reflects the university's commitment to providing accessible and flexible education. The low scores are gained because of the fixed curriculum and the fixed procreate exams. As I told you, our weakest point is we have a fixed curriculum. I mean, we don't provide a la carte style curriculum. If you are enrolled in a program, the courses are predefined as you register. But as an open education university, we need to provide more flexibility. When it comes to exams, indeed, this is also to me, this is the weakest point, because we are a large university. We conduct centered exams, and assessing the achievement through multiple choice questions doesn't mean satisfactory to me. I mean, we need to apply different assessment and evaluation strategies, and we are aware of that. Again, this is something back channel information. Another issue is that, you know, we have 1 million students, and students can go to the court if they are not happy with the quality of the questions, or if we force them with difficult questions with higher order thinking, you know, in a term after the exam, maybe 50K court cases are on our table. So it's a dilemma, but we need to improve that in a way.
So you have probably a legal department that
isn't,
with this. Yeah,
true.
It didn't come to my mind such an issue, frankly speaking.
You know, with low number of students, it is easy to survive, but when the numbers are high, it becomes a challenge. You know, thus far I talk about our good points, but despite our success, Anadolu University open education system faces three main challenges. The first one is perceived image problem. There is a common perception that open education system is lower quality compared to face-to-face learning. This negative image affects how the system is viewed and valued in Türkiye. The second issue is dropout rates, and high flexibility at entry also leads to high dropout rates. Okay, you are flexible at entry points, but our students are also flexible at dropping out their programs. Whatever we do, we still see a high percentage of dropout rates. And the other thing, as I mentioned, assessment and evaluation at a Giga scale. And Ishak, I also want to remind that we hold these exams not in Turkey, in around 40 countries at the same time. So it is really a big challenge. Traditional assessment methods are inadequate for evaluating millions of students with diverse backgrounds and learning needs. So we need to incorporate innovative assessment tools. We are aware of that. Besides, in addition to summative assessment, formative assessment systems is also needed. We also tried online exams, but indeed we have suspects about the quality because most of the students, whatever technology we use, try to cheat during these exams. That's why after the pandemic, we continued to conduct proctored face-to-face exams.
I see.
Okay.
But what about you mentioned in the previous slide the dropout rate?
Yeah.
It's a usual problem for all open education program. How do you calculate dropout rate and what dropout rate you have? Let's say compare with Indira Gandhi Open University or Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Probably our dropout rates are lower than other open universities. But here in Turkey, you don't need to enroll the following term. I mean, it's kind of technical, and I research on dropout, and I see that dropout is defined differently in each country. Here in our country, if you don't enroll successive 4 terms, your enrollment is automatically removed. But we also consider those who stop for a while. I mean, we also consider them as dropouts. So indeed, our dropout definition has multiple layers. Mm-hmm. That's why, it's really a challenge to tell a certain percentage, but we are trying to keep them engaged in the system. Personally, what I see, as long as you are a free university and as long as you are you provide flexible entry points, students see that being dropout is their born right, so they use their right. That's not a pedagogical phenomenon. It's also a psychological and social phenomenon that should be investigated from different cultural and social perspectives. This is what I believe.
Aras, so we had a question in Q&A about the response rate to surveys, and I actually want to build upon this. So here's what I've been thinking about when you said social matters. You might know about the book, The Culture Map by Erin Meyer, which maps different cultures in different countries on a series of criteria. And one of them is direct and indirect feedback, as well as whether it's relationships-based and not relationships-based. And given that Anadolu has the majority of students coming from Turkey, Turkey is indirect feedback culture. So do you think that that has something to do with the dropout rate? Students are not actually answering honestly whether they like the course or not, because they are culturally ingrained not to be more careful, even if it's just an online program. And how do you find the response rate, and what is the rough percentage of negative feedback that you actually receive?
Indeed, I cannot tell you any number for now, but what I see, it's a complicated thing. I mean, it's really a challenge to answer your question. The thing I see is dropout is not only about the quality of our educational system. Indeed, what I believe, our open education system provides a better curriculum and more quality learning materials than our face-to-face programs. But still, I mean, some of the students prefer being dropout for a while. And our research on this challenge indicates that because most of the students are working at older age with professional and personal responsibilities, they tend to drop out. Otherwise, the pedagogical issues are not the big reason. By the way, I see two questions on the, one is Frank Loglo from Oldenburg University, Germany. Now you reside in the same country. I know that young scholar in person. Most of the instructional languages in Turkish, around perhaps 90 or 95% of our courses are in Turkish, but we also provide courses in English in certain programs. And the main reason using Turkish as the instructional language is we don't try to attract students from different countries. We are now trying to reach the diaspora. And for instance, in Germany, there are around 4 or 5 million students. And we have a lot of centers, offices, and we have a lot of students from Germany. And I'm just thinking, and I am very sure that our students in Germany are higher than many faculties in different universities. That's interesting. And we have students in Africa, Canada, America, and perhaps you realize that there are a lot of Turkish students all around Europe. So we are trying to use Turkish. But if I would be a rector of Anadolu University, I would change this strategy. I mean, if you want to be a global player, you need to reach different nationalities, and your diverse group of student body should be from different nationalities. There is another question from Yeliz Düşkün. Okay, that's an interesting question. This trend started around 15 years ago because we changed our entry qualifications, and we said that if you hold an associate or bachelor's degree, you can enroll another associate or bachelor degree without any entrance exam. And people like that idea. Of course,
Aras, just a second. So you see the questions in Q&A, but the audience doesn't.
Okay.
So let me just render the question quickly. Elis was asking about the benefits of the second degree that students might have, because the majority of students at, half of your students, apologies, at Anadolu already hold a degree. Please continue.
Yeah. And Yeliz, thank you for the question, because in my presentation, probably I presented boring things because this is a webinar, but I like talking about this kind of issues. We also researched that perspective. 20 years ago, most of the students were enrolling open education programs, for instance, to be promoted as a civil servant, or in Turkey, national service is an obligation, so you have to go to army. But if you are a student, you can postpone it. Or if you are a student, you can get student-based discounts. This was the case, let's say 25 years ago. Now, perhaps again, to some extent, but now, for example, we have doctors, lawyers, engineers, and when we spoke with them, the case is really interesting. For example, in Turkey, numbers are always at a large scale. Every year, 3 million students, around 3 million students, enter the university entrance exam, and if you are in the top 1%, you can enroll to a medical faculty. So being a doctor is a good thing, and you earn a lot of money. But what we see, you know, most of the people select career path not because they like, but just considering the financial benefits or other social benefits, and they enroll different programs in our faculties, like farming or gastrology. I mean, one doctor said, I never forget that. I always wanted to be cook, but because I had really good scores in entrance exam, I decided to be a doctor. But because it was my dream from the childhood, I enrolled to your program. Of course, this is an extreme example. Still, there are some students, perhaps some students, to benefit from being a student. But considering the dropout rates is lower than other open education universities, I think this kind of students are at a minimum.
Okay.
Mhm. So Aras, I have a question about scale. Actually, the majority of questions that Isak and I had while we were discussing the webinar were about scale and access, as we told you. So I was thinking about Konosuke Matsushita. I'm not sure anyone remembers that name in the audience, but he was the founder of Panasonic and also a pretty powerful thinker when it comes to organizational governance. And he noted the following thing: when the organization grows in scale, your previous approach just doesn't work. You cannot simply make whatever you are doing larger. You have to actually change the way you go about things because your previous mechanisms start breaking. So the question for you is, based on your observations, what is Anadolu doing differently in terms of governance, and whether it is, do you think it's really run fundamentally differently than non-Giga universities?
Yeah, you know, I talk about our learning communities, and in these communities, okay, this is an example. If I gather the students in our learning communities, I can create an army and invade any country. The numbers are high. And it's not an obligation. They are there because they like it. That's why I think we are good at governing large student body, because we don't just deliver them educational content. We provide them express themselves. We provide them engage with their peers, or we provide different learning opportunities beyond our curriculum. So we are good at this, but we are learning and evolving and transforming ourselves. But this is the exact point. We are good at holding a good assessment and evaluation strategy. This is our biggest point. And you know, perhaps the thing you are right is that whatever we do, we cannot come up with a working solution on that perspective, because as we grow, our challenge is also being larger. And I was just discussing with one of my friends. Probably I would change the complete examination system. And I mean, in Turkey and at Anadolu University, we are proud to have more than 1 million students, but we don't need to have 1 million students. Maybe the numbers would be lower, but the process would be better than current system, especially when it comes to assessment and evaluation. And I would provide different assessment and evaluation strategies.
No, I would, again, Dara, forgive me, I want to return to your initial question again. But could you, look, I spoke recently with our common friend, Professor Josep Duarte from Catalonia Open University. And he told me a very interesting thing. He said, our professors cannot teach 400 students at the same time. So professor at his university is designing the course and kind of supervising a team of tutors. So the learning process, that's exactly what Dara is asking. So if I have 20 students in the class, I know how it looks like. But if I have 400 students or 1,000 students, I should manage the course completely differently. What do you do differently with compare with small scale universities?
And let me add to that. So Isak is concentrating on learning only, while my question is wider. I'm interested whether you think about campus differently. Do you think about governance and dealing with your gigantic staff differently? Do you think about student support differently? If you do research, is that conducted in a different way than you would otherwise be doing it if you were smaller? And also your agenda, your plans for impact and for social outreach. Do you have a different idea and conduct of those as well?
Okay. I hope I can provide a good answer. First of all, another challenge we have is that we don't have another example. Okay, there are Giga universities in India, China, and in some other countries. But what I see, all these Giga universities have their own cultural and social perspective. So we cannot learn from each other all the time. So we are trying our best at our capacity here at Anadolu University. From the perspective of learner support, I can truly tell that we are really good at it. I mean, we are trying to reach them many ways. I mean, we are not using just online technologies, but we hold informal meetings to meet with them, to listen them, to understand them. So our strategies are not online only, but also offline, including learning materials. This is what makes us different. For example, in UOC, University of Catalonia, where Josep Duarte is from. By the way, he was here a few weeks ago. Their most of strategies are based only online affordances, but ours is not. You can also come and join the courses at Anadolu University. We are a dual mode university. You can see the campus. I mean, you can jump into the social life. The problem with open universities is that, most of the professors consider that students' purpose is to reach the learning material. Indeed, it is not. I'm just considering my bachelor degree, and those times when I was a young man, I liked being in the campus. I liked listening to music and seeing other peers. At Anadolu University, you have that opportunity. We have a great campus. I shared some pictures during my slide, and we have a large university campus. Indeed, Anadolu University is always growing, and each time the government takes one part and makes it another university. In Turkey, there are 5 other universities. Once it was part of, it was just other campus of Anadolu University, and this is what we do. Perhaps, this can be your question. Even though we have an open education faculty, you can benefit being an on-campus student. You can come and stay and use the library, use the cafeteria. You are still an open education, a student in open education system, but you can act like and behave from benefits of on-campus opportunities. This can be a different thing from other universities.
So I have one more question about scale before we get to the 2 new Q&A questions. You said that you don't learn, well, there is a limit to you learning from other open universities because national contexts are different, and also because you are a dual university, so you have a dual set of issues, right? But just thinking about numbers, so if we were to unite 3 top open universities, the Indira Gandhi University, Open University Bangladesh, and Anadolu, we would end up with a population of the size of Bolivia. And here's my question. Do you collaborate now? But this is not the interesting part of the question. The interesting part of the question is the following. If you were to have a unified agenda, I'm guessing you wouldn't invade a country, right? The example you gave,
Sure.
But what would you do? What would you do with that kind of intellectual and just pure number strength?
Well, yeah, I cannot invade a country, but I could change many things. But the thing, we are a state university. That means, we have a mission, vision, and strategic agenda. But because we have a state university, we cannot say that we will change the educational system because we are bound to Higher Education Council. That's the thing. Another thing, I've just realized while you are talking, we are also a dual mode university. Now, when I go outside, there are 25K students, 25 students on campus. So it's our another challenge. We are not just delivering open education system, and we are at not top 10 but top 20 in Turkey for our on-campus offerings. If I had that power, probably I would change the social structure. But I will just highlight that educational is not neutral in Turkey, in Germany, in the US. It's always political. Critical pedagogies like Freire or the books Disculum Society argued that many years ago. We are aware of that. We are not just trying to prepare our students for the future, but indeed we are applying a program given by the government. So probably I would change this kind of things, but I don't have that power for now.
Dara, could I check, but we run out of time.
You don't have time for a Giga question, but maybe for a micro question?
Yeah, for micro question, yeah. Again, you use, for example, you use software, and obviously you need a lot of technical stuff. This is what Dara said. Could you tell us, for example, maybe you have economy of scale. as I remember, Anadolu has more than 200 support staff 24/7 for online students. But if you take million students, it doesn't look too much. So do you feel that larger scale is efficient, economical in your?
Yeah, you know, as I told you, the thing we are good at is learning support. For example, if you write something, a written request, your answer, your personalized answer is given in 24 hours. And you can reach to call centers, and in addition to our staff, we also outsource this service. So people can reach whenever they want. And as I told you, this is also Frank's question. We started using AI agents, and they are really effective. And I mean, in Turkey, at Anadolu University, as long as you have a question and you want to reach to Anadolu University, it's not a problem. But the problem we face is that they don't like our answers. They always want more, but we are trying to do our best, but they are not satisfied with our responses in many cases. So, Isak, perhaps you were saying that even if we have 1 million, more than 1 million students, because we use multiple learning support infrastructures, we are good at it, and we can still keep communicate and support them.
Okay.
And there is another question, Berta Wala. Sir, please, can you speak on how you use learning analytics to provide support services to your distance students and faculty? We use learning analytics not for support services, but mainly we use them to improve the quality of learning content. Indeed, we have a lot of data. We have a unit, but I think we don't use the learning analytics in a traditional way that most of the normal universities do. Instead of trying to improve the learners' achievement, we are trying to improve the quality of the learning infrastructure, because we believe that those who has their own learning goal will find his or her path in a well-structured quality learning ecosystem. This is what we do. I think you asked another question, but I might missed between the conversations, right? This is what I feel.
We actually have only 2 minutes remaining,
Okay.
So it's time for our standard final question. If someone were to start, and let's make it wide, let's make it as wide as possible. If someone were to start something big in higher education, I was recently told about a businessman who was thinking about creating campuses for underprivileged students in multiple countries. So not just in one country, but in multiple countries and multiple continents. So this is the example of something big that I kind of have in mind. If someone were to start something big, what would you advise? What are some do's and don'ts?
You mean multiple campuses? I mean,
not necessarily multiple campuses, a huge course that runs for thousands of students, a great research program, their largest campus in the world, whatever you choose. So it's just about the scale. If you were to advise someone who's thinking about something really large, what are the do's and don'ts?
I think if I target a large audience from all around the world with a large student population, probably I would change the whole curriculum, and I would make it culturally relevant for each country or continent. but I would use the same content. I mean, in a sense, there would be something unique in the center, but the rest of the learning materials, design, or other things would be culturally relevant because it's always a challenge to use by using the same content to different people from diverse cultural and social backgrounds. This would be what I do. But another thing, I think I would focus on learning communities. This is what I see here at Anadolu University. Students like it. I mean, even if it's an online community, they like joining art club, cinema club, or I mean, they record short movies. I mean, they write books, and I think what I would do is to support the social aspects that we ignore in many cases.
So
But I wouldn't open campuses around the world.
Could you summarize your answer that it's important to think universally with your example of a common content, but still act on a granular level when you're actually implementing your ideas?
Because
Aras, yes.
there is no any word, one size fits for everyone. I mean, this doesn't work. Not in Turkey.
Normal doesn't exist.
Yeah.
All right, Aras, thank you very much. Our dear listeners, thank you for attending. This finalizes our today's webinar. Now, can I have the slide for the next webinar? We'll be talking with Professor Raj Kumar from OPE Jindal Global University. And let's see what's going on in India. We are looking forward to seeing you, all of you, in 2 weeks. And have a great rest of the day.
And thanks again to our speaker today. I hope we'll continue the discussion of Giga universities. Thank you. Have a great day.